Okay. Shalom. It should be on.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, the Papadah. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, the great millstone. Blessings to the hopeful, sincere elect. Scattered around the four winds of the earth. Greetings, man. We don't say that lightly. No matter of fact, fuck it, man. We start off with James 1 and 1. So we start off with the Lamb Blitzer and all that. Mr. King Lamb Blitzer, Bishop Nate. We're going to start off with the Gentiles, man, since that's the main topic of discussion. Jake is stuck on stupid. Listening to the degenerate Genesis, magpie Israelites, man, and anyone that wants to follow their wayward doctrines, those guys are just changing up the doctrine every week. Now they're teaching that the Nephilim, the Nephilim, are so-called Hamites, man. The sons of God are Hamites.
Worse and worse.
It tells you that the Nephilim, the Nephilim in the Hebrew, which means fallen ones, it's talking about Jake. I told you that in Jude, man. We fell from our first estate. Because we're angels in physical form. We came from the first estate, which is the heavens, the third heaven, the spiritual realm, where we have our heavenly body in perfection. And we've fallen from our first estate, fallen from grace, so to speak. And we're now in these physical, decrepit, feeble bodies known as the chains of darkness, man, in the book of Jude. So the Nephilim, the Nephilim, we're not talking about no giants in the ancient world, angels that had sex with women of the other nations. It's talking about Jakes, man. We got remnants of those Jakes living amongst us today. Like these basketball players, man. Just for an example. You got all these basketball players range from like 6 to 7 something foot. They're like modern day giants, man. And that was Jakes. Yeah. The Blake Griffins, the Michael Jordans, all those characters. The LeBron Jameses and all that. The Kobe's, those are like tall, large Jakes. The main one who's that one that fought that Bruce Lee flick? And he had afro and he was just using his legs to kick and fight and shit. Tall, large Jake, man. He was fighting with Bruce Lee in the Fist of Fury, I think it was. You find out his name, man.
I got a quick piece of
Go ahead.
This is Jude 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains on the darkness, unto the judgment of the great day. And those angels that the scripture is speaking about there, because the word angel means messengers, referring to our people. The everlasting chains scripture references there is these feeble bodies that cause us to contradict our spirit from time to time, where, like even the Apostle Paul said, sometimes he has a thought to do right, but does it not, or when he knows that there's something he ought not to be doing, he's occasionally did it, was because of the fact that he was under the curse of the flesh. And that's what Yahweh Shai is coming to liberate us from. That's what the Nephilim refers to, the angels that fell from their first estate. Us, the fallen angels, the fallen on this earthly plane, carrying out the will of Yahweh Shai. But Jake will turn it into a fantasy. But this other scripture real quick. This is the book of James, the first chapter, squaring the point from verse 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So, from the onset, you can see that the tribes had been scattered across the entirety of the globe. Hence why, even during the time of Yahweh Shai, when he was with the 12, he told them that they were going to have to go to different lands right up until the end of the earth, prophesying the word of Yahweh Shai. Now check it as well. He said, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Now, Why were they going to fall into diverse temptations? Because at the end of the day, they're in these earthly bodies that are subject to sin. That's part of what the whole new covenant is about. When Yahweh Shai puts into Ezekiel the 36th chapter comes and liberates us from these chains of darkness, he's going to take the stone heart out of our flesh and give us a heart of flesh, and we're going to be perfect and released from the chains and this vile body, man.
Yeah, that's true, because who's gonna be perfected in these last days? Only the Israelites, man. The elect of Israel at that. So how are these other nations gonna receive salvation if they're still gonna be in the decrepit human flesh bodies that they're gonna have from now until the kingdom come? Their bodies are not gonna change. They ain't gonna receive no immortality. They ain't gonna receive no spiritual power unless it's through the technology on the left hand side. Why do you think Esau's creating all this robot technology and AI robots and cyborgs and Terminator type technology to fight the men of the Lord in these last days, man? Or even try and fight Yahweh Shai with the angels when they come. Why are they trying to make this technology so sophisticated? Because that's the only way Esau has the so-called fighting chance, is by being carnal, man. Because he's not spiritual. He's not going to receive anything of a spiritual gift from Yahweh Shai. Because he's a carnal man. He's the beast man of the earth. He's been sent here to seek and destroy, man. He's the sons of perdition. The man that's being revealed. So how the hell are they going to receive salvation, man? These other nations have been made to be our captives, our slaves, our servants, our handmaids, man. And that's exactly where they're going to be. There is no other way for them, man. You know? But these guys, these magpies are teaching otherwise because of that filthy lucre, man. He sold out for that 30 ounces of silver, man. You know? You try to do a sly one on the slight a hands up, so to speak. But the Lord sees you, and we see you. Because we're his true prophets, man. So we can disassociate or associate between who's teaching the truth and who's not teaching the truth according to the doctrine, man. We can discern. We have spiritual discernment, man. You guys don't have that discernment. You know, the only ones you'll be able to beguile and fool is the zombies that follow you on the comic board, man. You know, new followers and all that. I want to follow the greeniest fashion because Deacon the car looks cool when he's preaching with that stupid fitting on his head. Like, we're outside now, it's cold as fuck. But we got our heads covered. We ain't got our heads covered. We got our headbands and that. We got the top of our temples open, man. It's open. So we can keep getting that signal from Yahweh Shai. So what's so hard? This guy's not, it's not hard, man. Take off that stupid fitting off your damn head. But you won't do it because you're a carnal degenerate. And those things that are spiritual unto you, you find foolish. And you don't take the word of the Lord seriously. You obviously don't fear Yahweh Shai. That's the first thing. Because it's, and then you're cursing the men of the Lord out for reproving you, for you doing the reprobate behavior, man. Reprobate things. Because you don't agree with the word of Paul. Then you're trying to say the Apostle Paul isn't a man of the Lord. But you're more righteous than Apostle Paul. He wrote most of the New Testament, man. This is why the Lord's going hot. You saw what happened to Alizar. You saw a recent video of that guy. He's just totally degenerate. He's a degenerate now. The guy's singing some karaoke. Some stupid line. What was it? Aladdin. Oh. He was singing, him and that other, his batty boy minion, the one with the glasses, his right-hand man, so to speak, really is, I'm not even going to do this, but, the right-hand man, his right-hand man, the peg master, both of them are singing Aladdin karaoke and filming the shit, looking all degenerate and reprobate as fuck, man. And just being niggas, running around in the middle of the street in the night, just being niggas. How old are you, man? You're acting like you're some teenager, bro. You're probably in your mid-40s now. You ain't even got the stamina, man. You tried to run, you was like, oh shit, pulling up your low batties. You couldn't even run. You was out of breath as soon as you started jogging, man. But this is what it turned to. This is what you left the truth for. To be doing karaoke every Saturday instead of teaching this word. This is what you left the truth for. Because this truth was too hard for you. It wasn't too hard when you was getting pegged. But this is what these guys are doing, and now you got these degenerate Genesis guys just teaching madness, but it's all right. See, this is the spirit, man. You guys are complaining, crying, saying, oh, people sending us death threats and you putting curses on us. This is the spirit why Apostle to Elder Tahar said, put curses on you niggas. You niggas ain't right. And look what's happened. Look what's transpired after that. You're changing up the doctrine. You said talk about Nepalium, the Nephilim, and Hamites. What the fuck are you talking about, man? What are you going to teach next? You're going to teach the hell doctrine? the virgin birth. Oh, the Messiah, the Lord's not the Messiah no more. What else are you going to stop teaching, man? That just shows you guys are gone. The Lord's going to destroy Genesis, man. You even got others in your so-called associated Sakari splinter groups that are against you, man. So you guys ain't right in the fucking spirit, man. You and that other fucking Assad, that beta male Assad, man. You can tell that guy's sweet. He's got all kinds of sugar in his tank. He's moist as fuck. He really wants to be a Christian, man. He sounds like a damn Christian anytime he speaks. Reminds me of them soft beta male, you know, arse-licking choir boy Christians in the damn churches, man. You know, always trying to appease the pastor and all that. Trying to be a good boy for pastor. You're one of them type of cats, man. And Hakar, he's just trying to be a thug. He's trying to be throw up gang signs and shit, holding up weapons at the camera. What are you doing, man?
He's one of them youths that wasn't really bad enough for the world, so he went to church.
Yeah, there was no one in the streets. So you thought you could bring the streets to this Hebrew Israelite thing of ours. Look what you've done. Made a fool of yourself, man. And more shit's gonna come out on you guys before it's all said and done, man. Because you guys ain't right.
This is Amos 5 and 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate. Amos 5 and 10. It says they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
Yeah, so if you see the picture here, that's a modern day Napoleon, a Nephilim, so to speak. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fighting Bruce Lee, two Jakes. The one's is strikingly taller than the other, man. And that's from that famous movie that Bruce Lee did with the flick when he was fighting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So he would have been considered a modern day Napoleon, Nephilim, a fallen one, a giant, man. Look how tall the fucking guy is. The guy in the movie is sitting down and he's fighting Bruce Lee with his feet. That's how tall the fucking guy is, man. So that was us, man. Ain't no fucking Hamites, man.
His torso's about to hide him.
I'm saying his head's at his torso, you know. Even the other day when Jake Paul had a face-off with Anthony Joshua, AJ, he went to step up to him, and his head was at his fucking nipple and shit, man. Jake Paul's head was at his nipple, and AJ was just staring down at him like, little midget, man. Little small guy. He had to look up and say his neck was hurting. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep looking up and say his neck was hurting. JJ's fucking tall as fuck. So that's us, man. That's our people. They ain't no fucking Hamites, man. What the hell is wrong with you guys, man? But that just shows you guys were never right. If you guys is teaching all this madness now, that means you guys was never right, man. You're probably going to start teaching about the tribe of Dan too. I wouldn't be surprised, man. You guys are all fucked up in the spirit. Anyway, go ahead.
This is Amos 5 and 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
Yeah, who's the real one speaking uprightly? They're from apostles and elders of Great Millstone, man. Countless edifications coming out, countless amounts of time, you know, time after time, just edifying the ministry, as it tells in Ephesians. The Lord set up the true pastors, the prophets, the teachers, and all of that. And that, you can see it through their works, man. And we can boast and brag and say through the Holy Spirit, that we have 100% truth. Because the scripture says the Lord gave us an unction that you shall know all things. And in John it also says the same thing. If you speak the word of the Lord, you're going to have full understanding, man. You know? You ain't going to be able to get confounded in this truth if you're a real man of the Lord. But you guys doing what you're doing, you know, adding and taking away from the scriptures, you guys get confounded by by heathens, man. By people that don't even follow this truth, man. Wacky-tacky Christians are debating you guys and you're losing debates and shit, man. Because you guys ain't got a sure foundation of prophecy, man. A sure word of prophecy. You guys are faking the fuck. You're faders. You're really feigners of this truth. You're pretending, man, like you're the guy. Like you're the guys, man. And then you got like this guy, Bishop Nate, Mr. Land Blitzer, Skitzer. This guy's bragging and boasting about the 40 acres of land that he's bought in Atlanta, Gay Atlanta, by the way, so he can build up an Israelite community. Where did the scriptures of the Lord say that we're supposed to build up Israelite communities in Babylon the Great? That's going to be our salvation, building our own communities in Babylon the Great. When the Lord said he's coming to destroy America, man, what the hell are you buying land for? What is the purpose? You obviously don't put you're lacking faith. And you're putting off the day of the Lord, man. This is why the Lord's going to destroy 2/3 of our people, especially these wayward leaders, man. If they don't repent, stop teaching this madness, man. But you guys are all about your money and all that, man.
That's a direct contradiction to what the Lord told the apostles when he said, take no thought of what you shall eat, what you shall drink, just
Yeah.
go that freely have given.
Did the Lord say to be as pilgrims on the earth? Be ready to be on the move in the time of war? We ain't got time to be buying land, investing in land, man, in properties and shit like that.
Those deals take a while to go through.
Yeah, that means you're planning to stay here. You ain't got no plans in your mind and endeavoring to leave. And that's how we know you guys are not the men of the Lord, man. Because you guys are trying to set up shop here. When the Lord said he's going to totally annihilate America, man, he's going to knock it off the map of the earth. Including your 40 acres of land in Gay Atlanta, man, Atlanta, wherever that place is, man. You guys bragging and boasting. Well, look, let's see what Zephaniah 1 and 14 says, and 13 says. You got it still. You guys are crazy, man. You guys are moving like Pastor Toby. You got that prosperity doctrine, man. He's another demon, man. It's been exposed. Pastor Toby. We're going to talk about that demon too. And then when that time comes, man, the Lord said he's going to send for many fishers, which we're doing right now. He's also going to send for many hunters. In that time, man, a lot of you false pastors out there and false teachers, you're going to get paid a visit, man, personal visits. You know? We're going to execute the judgment written in through the Spirit, man. We're going to pour out judgment in the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai upon certain people, man. Especially 2/3, man. Because it said we're going to go up to them groves and hills. You're going to get visited, man. The angels are definitely going to visit your asses.
There's a couple of bits in there. So this is us.
It's Jeremiah 14
This is us. I'll skip through this. Zephaniah 1 and 2. I will utterly consume all things from off the land, saith the Lord. Verse 6.
Yeah, the Lord says he's going to utterly consume everything from off the land. Meaning there's going to be nothing left in America. It's going to become the forbidden zone. Be like Charlton Heston at the end of the movie. Oh, you did it. I can't believe you did it. Damn you. You know, you're going to be feeling like Charlton Heston seeing America being buried, you know, underneath the stubble and rubble. With nothing left. Go ahead.
And them that are turned back from the Lord, and those that have not sought the Lord, nor inquired for him. It says, hold thy peace at the presence of the Lord Yahweh, for the day of the Lord is at hand. For the Lord Yahweh hath prepared a sacrifice, he hath bid his guests. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord's sacrifice that I will punish the princes and the king's children, and all such as are clothed with strange apparel. In the same day,
Strange apparel goes into all these many different doctrines and idol worship that you guys are under, man. All these different false religions. You got Jake all up in Islam and worshiping Buddha, all this other shit, man. Santa Maria and all that, witchcraft. Christianity, the white man's Christianity. That, you know. So you guys are that strange apparel to the Lord, man. We got the real garments, which is the true knowledge and understanding of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We got the names too. You guys are worshiping straight wood and stone, idols, man. The gods of the nations. So the Lord's gonna visit you niggas, man. Go ahead.
in the same day also will I punish all those that leap upon the threshold, which fill their masters' houses with violence and deceit. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that it shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Howl ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off.
Yeah, even the rich in this society, they're gonna get cut off too. Just because you got wealth and so-called generational wealth, don't mean you're gonna make it out of America. You're gonna die with your riches, man. You're gonna die in your sins, man. Just like the Lord said to them wicked scribes and Pharisees, they was quite wealthy. They was living on the good part, so to speak. You know, they was living out, so to speak, in their little mansions and all that. Their little resorts and that. And the Lord said they're gonna die in their sins, man. They died with all their riches. You know, go ahead.
It says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees.
The Lord said he's going to punish the men that are settled on their lees. What does that mean? Guys that are settled, they've got the mindset that, you know, they're conforming to the way of the society. They're thinking the day of judgment is not going to happen, or Jacob's trouble is not going to happen. IUIC used to teach that until they got cut and recruited on that. Until they got caught out. Got put on blast because we had the receipts, man, and them trying to say Jacob's trouble's not going to happen, or making fun of it. And then the Lord exposed them on that. So their mindset is they want to stay here, man. They're complicit. They're complicit in staying here, man. They trust in oppression. Go ahead.
Says that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their knees, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil.
Yeah, so you're trying to say that the Lord's not going to destroy you because you're so-called doing a righteous thing. But that's not what the Lord told you to do, man. The Lord said to prophesy his word, warn Jake to repent because he's coming, man. And when he comes, there's going to be a lot of death. There's going to be a lot of blood curdling cries. There's going to be a lot of fucking landscape being destroyed, and the main land that's going to be destroyed is America, man. And the land of Israel. The only difference is the land of Israel is going to be cleansed so we can re-inhabit that land when he takes us back and brings us back to the Holy Land by way of the chariots, man. But the land of America, no one's ever going to go, no human being's ever going to go there ever again. It's going to become the forbidden zone for real. It's a desolate land, man. A land full of desolate type creatures. So that's the warning from the Lord, man. So what are you guys on? Why are you trying to invest in lands and properties and all of this shit when the Lord's doing the told you to do the total opposite? Because you guys are rebellious, man.
Therefore their good shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses but not inhabit them.
You shall also build houses and not inhabit them, man. So all that land you want to build farmland and all this shit, the Lord said you're going to build all that, build vineyards, you're not going to inhabit them. You're not going to live off the benefits of the pleasures of the fruits of the land, because that land's going to be destroyed, and that land's polluted already anyway. What's the point of buying up land that's already polluted? 40 acres of land that's already got fucking pesticides, all kind of poisons in the ground. You're going to be feeding your animals that shit, and then you're going to be killing your animals and eating that. So you're just spreading the poison amongst your own people, man. That land's not cleansed. That land needs to be cleansed by way of fire, man. That's why every season you have them wildfires, man, that cleanse the land. Especially like in places like California and all that. But Esau decides to build houses in places where there's more likely to be wildfires because he's an idiot. You know? But that's how you cleanse the land, man, by them brushes, man. Them fire brushes and all that. Them dry seasons, you know, and that dry heat that causes that friction in the grass and in the ground, and it causes the plants to, you know, to burn out, basically. To, you know, basically get rid of the pollutants in the ground. It's natural order.
Natural order, what you see, you don't make it seem like that shouldn't be allowed to happen.
Yeah, but that's been happening. That's been happening, man. That's how the earth was created, to take care of itself. You devils, you always trying to build on places where you're not supposed to build. That's why the Lord said, woe unto you that increases that which is not his. You know? But, and woe unto you that build house to house. But, because you had all them fucking mansions over there. And now it's all empty. Now you're going to, all those lands over there in California, majority of them are empty now. Because you're going to try and turn that land into a smart city. But ultimately, the fire's going to neutralize all of that, man. The fire's going to nuke all of that shit. You know? So what are you guys, you know, what are you guys on, man? You guys are on some madness, man. You're teaching for filthy lucre. You know, you're teaching because your leader, Bishop, makes a multi-millionaire, and he wants to keep investing in himself, basically, to keep his pockets fat.
Amos 6:1. Woe to them that are at ease in Zion, which trust in the mountain of Samaria, which are named chief of the nations, to whom the house of Israel came.
Yeah, you guys are at ease in Zion, man. Meaning you want to conform. The Lord said that by the renewing of your mind, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, man. Don't be conformed to the way of the society. Love not this world. Micah 2:10, this is not our rest. For it will utterly destroy you, man. And you guys have missed all those precepts. When thinking, oh, so you just hurdled over that and just gone to straight, oh, supposing gain is godly and all of that. You know, and seeking after riches. The Lord said to put trust in untimely riches, man, uncertain riches. Especially now when this whole economy is about to crash and everything. You're gonna set up buying land and all that, and Esau's gonna make everything go digital. That means you're gonna conform to the way of this digital society. You're gonna be pushing the mark of the beast system over there with your 40 acres of land. Because the new form of buying and selling is gonna be by way of the chip. So what are you gonna do when they set up the whole system, the digital system, and you've got like 40 acres of land that you need to keep up with, farmland and all that? That means you're gonna have to endorse the chip, man. Yeah, you're gonna have to endorse it because that's the only way you're gonna be able to buy and sell. Because cash is gonna be a thing of the past, man.
They're not gonna want to use that stuff.
He ain't gonna want to give up all that land, all those buildings, all that planning and investing and schematics and all of that. He ain't gonna want to give that up. What he said he wants to build an Israelite mall. That Israelite mall is gonna have to have modern day technology in it.
That's crazy.
All that biometric shit, all the buying and selling, the swipe machines and that. You're gonna have to endorse all that. So that means you're pushing the mark of the beast system. You're down for it. But you're saying it's not the mark. Mark of the beast is sin. So you can basically take the chip. See how you just put it, everything's just gonna backfire in your ass. Because you guys are just proud and you're trying to go around seeking your own vanity, basically. You guys are seeking after vanity, man. This is why the Lord gonna destroy 2/3, man. When you guys get wiped out, we ain't gonna lift up a cry nor care about it, man. We're gonna be like, that's good for your ass because you guys ain't right in the spirit.
Yeah, was for ye that put far away the evil day and cause the seat of violence to come near. Because in Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, the Lord told us to tell Jacob whether they want to hear or whether they want to forbear. But at the end of the day, if they don't hear, the blood is on their head. The same wicked the Lord will punish, but his blood will be upon his head. But you're allowing Jacob to go into a situation where they're about to be slaughtered, and you're not sounding the trumpet. You're just telling them everything's going to be fine. You're basically committing murder, man. Like at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're leading Jake to the slaughter. That shows you that you guys are hirelings, man. Nate is nothing but a hireling, man. And he keeps constantly butchering the scriptures, man, adding and taking away. The guy needs to repent, man, but he's stiff-hearted. If he is part of the Lord's elect, the Lord's going to do something to him, man. But either way, just like the Lord disbanded Sakari, the Lord's going to disband the IUIC, man. Even Apostle El Talk been saying that. And it's going to happen, man. One way or another, the Lord's going to destroy the IUIC, man. Something's going to happen. Something's going to take place where they're all going to turn into splinter groups as well. And they're all going to be like reservoir dogs, turning on each other. One's going to be talking shit about the other. Saying he did this and he did that. Probably going to snitch on each other and start saying, yeah, he did tell us to stop teaching the name of the Lord. He did meet up with the Rosicrucians. He took the bag. Exposing each other, man. Because you guys are a bunch of reservoir dogs anyway, man. No honor amongst thieves. We're quick to turn on each other, man. Look at Sakari. They was quick to turn on each other. As soon as their leaders started falling apart, being exposed. They was like reservoir dogs, man. Just attacking each other and all that, man. Trying to get one over each other. That shows you that they ain't never right. And that you all talk about these unity camps. That shows you that there was really no unity. That's some fake brotherhood, man. You guys got some fake brotherhoods, man. And you talk about it's all vanity. You talk about unity camp. And then you're gonna go into Zabak. Priest Zabak, he's just out there false accusations and all that, putting, misnomers on brothers' names, trying to give us a bad name and all that. You're making statements you don't have the evidence to back it. Talking about man threatened you and all that. Like to say we carry weapons. Where you ever known a GMS member to ever carry a weapon to threaten you with? We don't roll like that, man. If you talk about Sakari, they rolled with weapons to camp. You can understand them saying they was going to threaten to shoot you because they actually rolled to camp with guns. But when have you ever seen any GMS member, when the apostles and elders of Great Millstone ever roll with any type of weapon other than the Bible, man? What the hell are you talking about threatening you with guns, man? You're a liar, man. Because you didn't back your receipts. You got the receipts to back your talk. You're just saying, oh, it was this camp. It was that. Where's the receipts at, man? You can't be saying shit like that. That's false accusations, man. You're bearing false witness. And you're always a guy that's always mixing. You say it's swift with the wordplay and all that. Talking about wordplay. You try to you try to do them Jedi mind tricks on brothers. To make my brothers sympathize with you, thinking that, oh, yeah, maybe brothers did attack him. You basically tried to sow discord, man. That's a demon, man. When you never been right. That's why we always used to get on you back in the day. You said back in the day we used to always get on them and all that. Yeah, why? Because you're a doctrine, man. You was going off. And you're still going off. You're still teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite. What kind of shit is that, man? 2025, man. 2026 in a couple of weeks, man. You're still teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite. You ain't right, man. And that's the thing, man. All these guys, you got the Bow Wow, UPA camp. Them guys are wish-washy, winging it. You got the Wi-Fi guy, the Wi-Fi, trying to give trying to do award show of who his favorite prophet is in Israel. Trying to do award shows and all that. Yeah, I like this guy. I looked up to this guy and this guy. I followed him and you're mixed up. That's why your shit's all fucked up, man. You're young buck too. You're talking like to say you've been in this team before the elders, man. You're a young buck, man. Sit your ass down, man. Chill out, man. Talking so like you're some great prophet, man. You ain't no one, man. You ain't on the level of the apostles. You need to humble yourself, man. Talk about who's your best, who you looked up to and all that. And the said examples are in the scriptures, but the ones that you're supposed to reverence and look up to, you don't give them no ratings. Those are the ones you talk shit about, despise, man, basically. The ones that actually taught you this truth. You know? But this is it, man. The Lord is making a distinction for all these feigners and phonies, as we've been saying, and the real prophets of the Lord. And that's why 2026 is definitely going to be a year of apostates, man. More year of revealing of these false prophets out here. It's just that time, man. It's that season. Just like when it was coming to Yahweh Shai's hour, it was revealed who Judas Iscariot was. He was false brethren. He was the betrayer. Just before Yahweh Shai was put up on the cross. So we're coming into that time now. The hour of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation. So now the time of the betrayers are going to be revealed too. Then you got Esau on the other side trying to do AI videos. You saw the video, I couldn't even watch it for too long, man. It made me want to get vomit, man. Showing man eating the bread and drinking of the blood. You know, that shit was foul, man. That's Esau's spirit. Esau's a sick being, man. He's got his little think tanks behind closed doors, making up little AI videos of the apostles and elders and brothers doing madness on cam, man. That shit was nasty as fuck, man. That shit was demonic, man. Just out there in the middle of the street eating bread, stuffing it in your mouth like you don't know how to eat food, and then drinking a pint of blood, like, and the shit's all dripping and, bro, that shit was demonic as fuck. Sickening, man. This is the shit we gotta deal with. You know, this is the real prophets of the Lord are going to be hated and reviled. And that's a good thing.
This is Jeremiah 14:14. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not.
Yeah, and this goes into these guys in this so-called truth, that are so-called pushing the truth, but haven't got 100% truth. You can name the camps, from the top camps to all these little small camps that are springing out of nowhere. You know, that haven't got 100% truth. You've got guys coming out here talking about he's King David and all that, bugging out. Guys should follow him. He was a GMS member, but he fell out. Talking about he's King David. You're out your fucking mind, man. And guys should follow him. Follow you where? Into a ditch. You also the blind follow the blind, man. So, you got a lot of guys that are going to be bugging the fuck out in these last days, man. The spirits really just bugging the fuck out. Like, spirits on their asses, man. And they don't even know it. They're thinking that they're still teaching the truth. But they've got mad spirits on their asses, man. And we can see it's evident, man. And it's only until the Lord pulls the veil off their eyes they're going to see the error in their ways. But if not, that means they're not supposed to see the error in their ways because the Lord wants to destroy them, man. There's certain men that have been brought into this truth to this condemnation. And to be condemned, be destroyed. Like Alazar and that guy's going to get fucked up, man. That guy thinks he's just, because he hung up his garment, he's disappeared into the backdrop and all that. But the Lord's not still watching him, man. The angels ain't watching his ass. He's going to get a grievous death, man. Him and his little magpie follow me, man. And the two magpies, you guys, Genesis, man, I don't even think you can repent, man. Because you guys, the Spirit is not with you guys, man. The Lord is not dealing with you guys. The Lord is definitely not dealing with Genesis, man. You guys are like fucking, you're just like a modern day remix of GLCC, pushing all kinds of madness, man. We don't know what you're going to do next. But we can see why it's through the Spirit, Apostle Elder Tahar said to put curses on you guys, man, because you guys are straight up demons, man. You're demons, man. And whatever happens to your ass is meant to happen to you, man. Don't blame it on us. But you guys are threatening us. Nah, the Lord said you shall hardly threaten, and you should not be beaten to powder. The Lord is threatening you, not us. You should be worried about what the Lord's gonna do to you. We ain't gonna do shit to you, man. We're just gonna sit back and see what and watch the handiwork of the Lord on your asses, man. You guys don't even know who you're dealing with, man.
There's a bit more in this book.
Go ahead.
Amos 6 and continuing on from 3. Ye that put far away the evil day and cause the seat of violence to come near.
Yeah, you can put off the evil day. Go ahead.
That lie upon beds of ivory and stretch themselves upon their couches.
Yeah, that's Bishop, man. He's comfortable, man. You already know he's got them Persian rugs in his house and all that. Going on like, moving like, what's his name? Frank Lucas and all that. This is alpaca. This is $20,000 alpaca. You don't rub that shit, you block that shit. Man, his brother spilled some shit on the carpet. He says, this is $20,000 alpaca. You don't drop that shit, you block that shit. Persian rugs and all of that. You already know his house is kitted out, bro. Kitted. Mini mansion style, bro. That guy's a multi-millionaire. Try to act like he's just living in the hood somewhere. Come on, man. That guy's probably in some gated community. He's probably got security and shit. Probably hired one of his members to be his own personal security. He's got gates and all that. You know? Them guys are living it up, man. That's why they don't want to give it up, man. They're moving like the rich man. Yeah. They're acting like they were willing to sacrifice all, but they ain't willing to just give it up for the Lord, that man. Because look at what his man's doing. He's trying to buy it. They already bought the land. They ain't even trying to buy it. They had all the donations. They raised the money. Now they bought the land. So what's next? That means more planning, more building. You know, that shit costs money. All that shit ain't free.
So they stretch themselves upon their couches and eat.
Yeah, they're relaxed, man. You know, Rick James on the couch. Rick James, fuck the couch, nigga. All that. It's relaxed, stretched out.
And eat the lambs out of the flock and the calves out of the midst of the school. That chant to the sound of the viol and invent to themselves instruments of music like David that drink.
Right, they're trying to live it up, man. They're trying to live that Israelite party life. The high life, man. They're trying to build their little modern day Dubai. Their little Dubai community in America. That's what they're trying to build. You know? The first Israelite community. In Babylon the Great. You know?
That drink wine and bowls and anoint themselves with the chief ointments.
Damn. Didn't this guy come into the Passover on a horse? He's anointing himself, man. Chief ointments. He's trying to say he's the top guy in Israel. Look at me, I'm on a horse. Yahweh Shai was on a donkey. I come in on a horse, man, in a stallion. That is some pride for your ass, man. That is pride, man. If that ain't proud, I don't know what is, man. The Lord rode into Jerusalem on a donkey, man. You coming into the Passover with two Edomites guiding your ass, which has already defiled the whole Passover proceedings, because you got heathens up in the proceedings. But you're on a fucking big ass stallion, man. Galloping and shit. Like you're a general of a war army or something, man. If that ain't pride, I don't know what is, man. You know? What are you doing, man? But see, guys like that, they don't see that they're error in their ways. They just think they're doing the righteous thing. But the Lord gonna show you, man. The Lord gonna show you guys out there that pride wasn't made for man. You know? Pride cometh before a great fall. Go ahead.
There's an anointing themselves with the chief ointments, but they have not grieved for the affliction of Joseph. Therefore, now shall they go captive with the first that go captive, and the banquet of them that stretch themselves shall be removed.
Yeah, to the time of Jacob's trouble, all your lofty, living it up ways is going to be done for, man. It's going to come to naught. Because when all hell breaks loose, everyone's going to get it, man. No one's exempt. The only ones that's going to escape is the men of the Lord, the prophets of Yahweh Shai, the true prophets. And that's another topic I was going to go into regarding the salvation of the elect in the time of Jacob's trouble. Because I was watching the elders video, Only the Elect. It was Only the Elect's channel. And he was doing a response video on another elder in Great Millstone that did got a comment on his video, basically a spiritual power. And basically had a dream, a vision that he was arrested and he was in a concentration camp. But then you know, he was given the gift of invisibility, spiritual power. So he just got up and walked back out of the camp. He walked out of the building, and then the spirit said, "Go back and go and get other Jakes, man." So he went back, and he went to basically rescue other Jakes. And everyone that he went to encounter, obviously were Israelites. They were part of the Lord's elect. So anyone that he went to encounter, basically he said he went back and he had to jump over a 70-foot tall wall. And we're going to get it. I was going to get the precepts for it. We'll get into that after. But basically the Lord's going to be with his men in these last days, man, in the time of Jacob's trouble. Like when it says, "My servant shall eat, and ye shall hunger." That's like all these guys that are living out now thinking that shit's sweet. You know, you're going to die of famines and that. That's even the precept that Paul's going into now. You're going to die of starvation and all that. You know, all those type of things. Go ahead.
But you say this as well because the scriptures say that in the day of affliction there is a forgetfulness of prosperity.
Yeah.
You know, so just going into the point, you say when it all hell breaks loose, all that stuff and all the pride and you know the coming in on a horse and I'm this and that, that's gonna mean nothing. It's gonna be all in vain.
All the AI videos, Marvel series that you're trying to push, and you guys ain't even gonna get that spiritual power. And how about that?
Yeah.
You're gonna see the apostles and elders great. Most don't get the spiritual power though. Then you're gonna be jaw dropping, thinking, "Oh shit, these are the true men of the Lord." The Lord said, "Then it should be known you are my chosen," because they're the ones that's gonna be doing the same miraculous works they was doing in past life as the apostles in the New Testament, right? In the book of Acts, speaking many different languages, you know, doing miraculous works, healing the maimed, the sick, you know, healing the disabled, bringing someone back to life. We're going to do these things. The Lord said the things that he did, we're going to do greater. Walking on water, all these things, man. We're going to be doing that and then some, man. Flying. That's what the true men of the Lord are going to be doing. Jumping over fortress walls. Like I said in the video, brothers talk about in his vision, the 70-foot tall fence, you know, them martial law type fences, you know, with the fencing and all that wide barbed wire and shit. He jumped over two of them. Just leaped over it like it was nothing. You know? And he's not a fucking what's that sport? They do the long jump, not the long jump, the high jump. He ain't the high jumper. He ain't no high jumper. He don't practice that shit. But the Lord gave him the spirit like the spirit he gave to David. We're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna get into it. But let's read this real quick and jump into that.
Finishing off in Jeremiah 14:14, it says, "Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name, and sent them not."
Yes, there's many guys out there that are acting like they're the men of the Lord, and the Lord sent them not, man. Especially when you see these YouTube debates and all that, these debaters and you trying to be YouTube sensations and going on different podcasts. The Lord ain't dealing with those kind of guys, man. Those are not the prophets of the Lord.
Neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and a divination.
Yeah, they're teaching prosperity doctrine, invest in this, buy this, you know, let's do this and let's buy this, let's build this building, you know, all this, that's that church prosperity doctrine shit. The GoFundMes and all that shit. Donations to build a building, you know. Now you want to buy land. The Lord's not about that, man. That's a false divination, man. The Lord's about to destroy this place, man. What the hell are you buying land for?
It says, false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart.
Yeah, the deceit of their own minds, man, because they're corrupted. They're corrupt, man. And they might have started off in this truth sincere, but then the money got to their head. They started seeing them zeros coming in. And now they're corrupted. Yeah. That's why I told you, the love of money. What are you willing to do for the love of money? Because years past, the Genesis Magpies, they was teaching for the most part, they had the right doctrine, but because of the love of money, they sold their souls out basically, right? Because they love material things, they love money. They trusted them in earthly things. So they chose that over, sacrificing for this truth, carrying on to sacrificing this truth. They rather, sold out for material wealth and them zeros. So now they're just totally insubordinate, man, and changing up, perverting the gospel. Straight demonic, man, straight docile, man. But that's what happens, man, when you ain't got no true foundation of the Lord in your spirit, man. If the Lord's not dealing with you in that foundation, you're gonna fall off like that. Anything can sway you.
Says-
Tossed to and fro like children, you know. Go ahead.
It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord, concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed.
Yeah, and I was gonna say go into that with this guy, Pastor Tobin, PT, Mr. King Fraudulent, fraudulent pastor, PT, from SPAC Nation, and his degenerate ass, his degenerate organization, and all the scams and all the, he's basically like a modern day P. Diddy, but in the Christianity religion. He does the same shit Diddy was doing, all the orgies and all that shit, all that nasty shit behind closed doors. He's got bare offspring by these, fellow little offspring that he's got. All these girls that are part of these organizations had about how many different girls having abortions and shit with different pastors and all that. There's bare adultery going on, bare wickedness going on behind closed doors and them different stagnation houses and all that shit, man. But these are supposed to be righteous men. But that's what they're set out to beguile the 2/3. Because they're trusting in riches, man. You watch this guy, Pastor, all he talks about, I ain't never seen him break down one precept ever. All he does is talk about material wealth. Louis this and Gucci this and living it up.
Yeah, he doesn't even at least them Pentecostal Christians will read one scripture and bullshit. You don't even open the Bible, you just literally just...
All this is about seed. Give.
Tithes. Double tithes.
And then setting up all these fraudulent businesses that put people into perpetual debt. Yeah, the youngsters getting into perpetual debt because they're taking out loans that they can't fucking pay for.
Crazy.
Setting up fake guarantors and shit. Opening up business that are just set up to fail so they can take the money and run with it. And he give the money to him basically. And then so, a recent story came out, he basically broke up a whole marriage. It's probably not his first one. This is a famous footballer. His wife left him, took his millions and gave it to this nigga, man. For what? Now this guy can't even see his own kids for the past 2-3 years. Because this bitch up and run with all their money and took it and gave it to this fake ass false pastor PT. Straight demon, man. For what, man? And then she's online cursing him out. Like to say he's in the wrong. Witches, man. Witches out here, man. That's why the Lord gonna get a lot of you little young little degenerate bitches out here, you YNs, Look, you're gonna get caught out here, you're gonna get destroyed, man, especially in the time of war, with Jacob's trouble, and you're gonna get conscripted too, sent over to the Middle East, since you want to gangbang and all that. We're gonna see how much gangbanging you can do over there in the Middle East, man. Getting your heads torn off or in Desert Storm, man.
Yeah. Like Pastor told me, you had women directly underneath him as his enforcers trying to get 15K out of fucking...
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, we need 15K, we need to
raise it,
it
says it needs to raise about 100K a month. And then he's got the pastors, some of the head leaders, the girls, and all that, he's got a couple of them pregnant, he's got youths by them, he's already got in a marriage and he's got bare youths just lingering, some of them will have abortions, This guy's wicked as well. And these are these same false pastors, man. I says he's a modern day P. Diddy. And if you watch the new Netflix series and 4-part docu-series of this Diddy guy, you see all the wickedness that he was doing. That's why the scripture says, from among my people found wicked men, man. Not all Jakes are righteous, man. Jakes can be wicked as all hell. Especially if they got the spirit of Esau, Edom in them, man. They're lusting after the pleasures of this world, the material wealth. They're envious of the prosperity of the wicked. So they start to do James 8:44. The lust of their father, the devil, they shall do. You have your father, the devil, and the lust of him you shall do, man. So they start following these traits of shady businesses and shady ways. Have to bump your own people. This guy didn't pay no one his whole career. It's like he didn't pay no one. He just made people sign contracts and just kept promising them money that they're never going to receive. And people just kept dying around this guy. Everywhere this guy goes, he just brings death around him, man. So that guy's a straight up demon, man. He needs to be, fuck getting locked up. He needs to be in a grave somewhere, that guy did, man. A guy like that, he can't seek repentance, man. He needs to be dead. He's done so much wickedness and evil, man, and he'll still do it to this day if he had the opportunity. He'll still carry on having them Diddy parties and that. Go ahead, man.
This is Matthew 16 and verse 26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul?
And nowadays, Jake just be selling themselves short, man. Every other day, every other week, you've seen videos on the YouTube. This guy sold his soul. You know, this guy did some perverted shit. He sold his soul to the devil. And a lot of them are even just coming out and saying it now. They're just open with it. Back in the day, you had to like a conspiracy theory. Is he part of the Illuminati, that type of thing. Nowadays, Jake's just coming out with it, saying, yeah, man, I sold my soul, man. I need this money. They're not even hiding it no more. Then there was one video, who was it? Content creator, Steve Will Do It. He's with Takashi 69 and all that. And he's talking about these fucking royal families in Dubai and shit. Because he's kind of wealthy and all that. I don't know if he's got some Jewish bloodline. He's one of them type of content creators. And he might be a Jake, but he looks like a Edomite end. But he's got a lot of money. He's one of them type of guys who kind of gives out money and all that shit for fun. So they said how they invited him to Dubai. But the royal guy, one of the royal princes or whatever was on the phone to him saying, yeah, just come. And they were basically just want to have an orgy. Some gay orgy with, man. And that's exactly what them niggas are going to Dubai for, man. Why do you think all these guys, all of a sudden, all these rappers, keep flying over to, especially these UK niggas, keep flying over to Dubai? Because they're part of that booty bandit club, man. The Backdoorians, man. They're part of the booty bandit club, man. That's why they're going over there. A lot of them guys are straight up, they're just, you know, doing what they have to do, their perversions, so they can keep getting money. They're like industry whores, man. It's not just the women as well that are doing it, it's men that are doing it too. That's why you constantly see the same guys going over there.
Yeah, 100%.
And even because they even said that about this guy Dutch, man. He had some batty boy lovers over there. And he lives over there now. He's been staying over there for a minute. He ain't coming back to the UK. Bouncers over there. Look at these guys, they're backdoorians, man. You know? So they can keep getting that money coming in. They go to all these royal parties. The Arabs ain't right in the spirit. Ishmael's not right in the spirit, man. Yeah, they got accumulated a lot of wealth. I told you that in the blessing of Ishmael, they said they will come out of 12 princes. So they was supposed to live it up. That's why the UAE, they live off the oil, off the land and all that. They're very rich and wealthy. But they're not right in the spirit, man. They're heathens anyway, man. They're just rich heathens. But they still do what heathens do. Partaking in orgies and all this funny fake, all this funny but loose behavior. All this alphabetisms over there, man. You know? There's this pure wickedness going on over there. You don't want, I ain't trying to go to no fucking Dubai for what? Meet no royal family, man. All them sheiks, man, they're all batty boys, man. They're sick people, man. They're heathens.
This is 1 Corinthians 7 and 30. And they that weep as though they wept not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not, and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away.
Yeah, Bishop Nate missed that precept too. The fashion of this world's going to pass away, so why the hell are you buying land? The Lord said that shit's going to pass away. And it's not going to take no 10, 15, 20 more years. This shit's going to happen now, like in the next year or so, man. Next couple of months it could happen. The Lord going to speed up the pace of time. He's already speeding up the time. The Lord said the day of the Lord hasteneth greatly, meaning he's going to speed up the time, man. It's not going to take like a thief. He's going to come as a thief in the night, and it's not going to take long too. The Lord's wrapping this place up, man. You trying to do all these long-term investments like we're going to be here for another 50 years or something. Are you out of your mind? That's how you know you guys are like the modern day wicked scribes and Pharisees of 2,000 years ago, man. Because you got the wrong mindset, man. You trusted in your earthly things, thinking that's going to deliver you, instead of preaching Yahweh Shai. That's why you don't even push the name. They don't push the name because they're getting their riches from the so-called white man. So they're really praying to their God, which is Christ, the other white meat. Cesare Borgia, that's why they say to the Most High in Christ bless. Because really who they worship is Caesar Borgia, man. Because he's the one that's been giving them all these riches. Yahweh Shai is not dealing with IUIC, man. You're not dealing with a lot of these different camps.
You know, like, the right mentality to be is like Acts the 5th chapter and the 29th verse. It tells you when the apostles were beaten for preaching Yahushua, that they left rejoicing, that they were counted worthy to suffer shame, and on this war for the Lord's sake. Like really, if you were in the right spirit, only you niggas, you'd be really and truly be happy to be the offscouring of this war for the sake of the Lord. That's the correct
suffering,
spirit to be, suffering for the Lord.
Yeah, because that's part and parcel of what we got to go through, the fiery trial, man. You know, we got to be purged of our sins too. So that we ain't going to just skate into the sunset. We're also through many afflictions, man. You know, it's going to be a tough walk. That's why it's known as the straight gate. Straight gate is a straight, narrow path, and it's a tough walk. Not every man can just walk it, man. It's only one man at a time. And those one men are equal up to the 144,000, man. So that's the one. That's a small percentage out of the whole nation of Israel that's going to be able to walk this path. Many are called, but few are chosen. All of them precepts, man. Because this truth is not easy to just come by and endure. You got to endure, man, which means to make hard. You got to go through shit to get to the next stage. But at the same time, it enriches you spiritually, man. It emboldens you and makes you, more temperate. You know, tempered and more like steel, man. And then it prepares you for the fiery trial, the last final test, which is the mark of the beast. So the guys like zombies that are in that zombie type state following the IUIC, they're not prepared mentally for what's coming, man. That's why a lot of these guys, when Trump makes that shit mandatory, these guys ain't gonna know what to do. They're gonna be scratching their heads. There's gonna be a lot of confusion going on back and forth. They're gonna try and come to the great millstone. We're gonna tell them, look, go to the senders and buy it, man. Thought you guys had it. I thought you guys had 100% truth. Don't come to us. We ain't got no oil for you. We only got oil for enough for ourselves. You know? And when we opened our hand, when the Lord opened his hand to you through his men, you found the hand. You didn't want to heed the warning, man. So now you have to deal with it yourself. Because we told you what the mark of the beast was. You wanted to listen to this zombie leader Nick and these other leaders of these different camps. Captain Tazaria talking about the mark of the beast is sin. You guys are all confused and bemused, man. But that's your fault. Because we've got countless videos of mine on Great Millstone alone on the topic of the mark of the beast. We've got hundreds to thousands of videos on that same topic, man. That one topic alone covers years and years of edification. And now we're actually living in that time. You can see the whole system is transitioning from this cash to a cashless society now, man. And all that biometrics and digital ID, everything that's been promoted, self-checkouts and all that shit. All that shit is being promoted on the highest level now. So you can't ignore this truth, man. You can't ignore the fact that the mark of the beast is the chip. Because everything is transitioning into that technology. So if you're out here trying to teach the mark of the beast is not the chip, you're a straight deviant, man. And the Lord's not either dealing with you or you've been paid off, man. And you're going to come to find out a lot of guys have been paid off.
Yeah, even Burkina Faso, they've got digital ID now. Like they're rolling out digital ID in African countries where you feel like, hey, how do you think energy to do that?
Those are the rehearsals.
Yeah, man.
China, all these different countries, Kenya, they're going to start pushing the biometrics over there because that herd mentality. They're more easily swayed in third world countries, man. Because they ain't got shit, so they get introduced to some new technology, new shit. They're gonna be hit to take it because they're living in third world poverty, man, still, man. But the modern day societies like the West and all that, they have to be gradually brought in, like through gradualism. Because then people will start picking up. I mean, people are already hip to what's going on, and they don't really want to be, get down with the digital ID. But Esau's gonna make it in a way where shit's gonna get so hectic out here. You ain't gonna have a choice but to turn to digital ID or the mark of the beast. And if you don't take the chip, you're not gonna be able to eat. That's how Esau's gonna make it. He's gonna make it extremely hard for people to move around in society without having that biometric device underneath your skin. You ain't gonna be able to travel. You ain't gonna be able to go to work. You ain't gonna be able to buy food. Even online, you won't be able to buy food online. Esau's going to change out everything. Yeah, you're going to be able to see no welfare check, no benefits, no medications. no medical help. He's transitioning the whole system to a digital system, man. That's the image of the beast. And there's a lot of jakes that are going to fall into that snare. The only ones that's not going to be deceived is the elect. You know? But even in that time, the Lord said, my servant shall eat. So we ain't got to worry, man. It says there's a time of trouble, but the Lord shall deliver them out of the same. So the Lord's going to be with his elect. But anyway, go back into that. And then get Jeremiah 5 and 7 and 5:26 and then jump to the next topic. This one.
Just quick one. This is Isaiah 51 and 14. The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. Just because you were speaking all that, you're going to get a lot of jakes that are going to get caught in that trap. But you've got the elect. They're going to get out of it, and the Lord's going to deliver them through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? Through the Spirit, right? The Lord is going to bring salvation and deliverance to the elect, man. They're not going to die in this wicked system. They're not going to get caught up in the snares of Esau Edom.
You know what, matter of fact, scratch the other precept I had. Let's get Jeremiah 30 and 7 and Isaiah 59 and 19. Might as well go into that topic now, spirits. But yeah, man, we're going to need a spiritual intervention in these last days. And that's going to come by way of spiritual power and angels intervening for the men of the Lord, man. No matter how hard it gets. You know, how so-called our backs are against the wall. If you have trust in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and you did his work and labor of love, and sincerity and truth, he's going to defend you in that time, man. That's a promise that the Lord made, man. The Lord's not a man that he shall lie. If he said he's going to do something, he's going to do it. That's part of the agreement, man. He said, you serve me, and I'm going to protect you. I'm going to be a hedge unto his elect. You know, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and he delivereth them, you know, hideth himself, you know. So in that time, that's why we're going to need to push and have that vibration, exalt the names of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai even more. Because that's the only names that's going to be answering to our call, man, to our prayers. You know, those are the only names that can intercede for us in these last days, man. We're actually in those death-defying, you know, dire situations. You call upon those names in the time of that trouble, and the Lord's gonna open up doors for you, man, to be delivered. You know, you might think, oh, I'm done for now, but the Lord is going to deliver you, man. Yeah. Even if you get led to the guillotine, the Lord can still deliver you. As I was saying, man, the guy had the dream, the vision. The guy left a comment on the comment board saying he had a vision. He was put in an internment camp with all kinds of jakes. But then for some strange reason, he just felt the spirit come on him and it's told him to get up and walk out. And he didn't realize until afterwards that he was basically, the soldiers and all that, they couldn't see him. He was invisible. So he just walked past, just walking straight past them. And he walked past the entrance, he walked out the entrance, he walked to the fence, he leaped over the 70-foot tall fence. And as he was gonna, you know, go out into the field, whatever, into the, you know, disappear basically into the field, the spirit told him to go back. To basically go back and help other jakes get out. So then he leaped back over the fence and went back inside and still couldn't see him. It was like he was just an invisible man, you know. They couldn't see him, they couldn't hear him. The guys are staring right at him, you know, standing right before him, they couldn't see him standing right there, basically. The Lord can do that. Same thing, you get that, I was going to ask for that in Acts. Same thing, but the angel came to Peter and broke him out of prison, man. You know, and guided him out. Same thing, man. The angel's going to be with the men of the Lord right now. Book of Acts is being a recount. There's a new book of Acts is happening in this lifetime too, as we speak. These are going to be recorded in his testimonies as well in the kingdom of heaven and how the Lord delivered these men. So men are going to be made given spiritual power on this side, you know. But basically, yeah. So he went back inside, and he said he counted other jakes that was in some big room. You know, they got the double beds and all that. So he was just going to certain jakes and telling them to come, you know. Not to rescue every day. That shows you the Lord said he's only coming for the elect. So the ones that he went to, though, they also got the spiritual power. They also became invisible. So as they're walking out, they're walking past guards, they're walking past the barriers and all that, and then they can't see this. The guards can't see them. You know? So then they get to the fence, and he said that they was able to leap over the fence as well, without his help. So the Lord gave them spiritual power too, because they're part of the elect. So the Lord gave them spiritual power to leap over the fence too. Probably old and young Jakes, you know. So that did it, and you can get Psalms 144 and 1, and Psalms 18 as well. The Lord teaching my hands to war and all of that. Make my hands feet to jump over fortress walls, those precepts. So they was able to leap over the fence, and then he said, yeah, then after that the dream stopped. But that's the kind of thing that's going to be happening. The Lord is going to intervene for his men. Even when like, our necks are put in guillotines, the Lord can have it where all of a sudden the guillotine just doesn't drop. Or you just disappear. And we're going to get into it. Isaiah 59 and 19.
Peter.
Yeah, give me Peter first. And then, yeah,
Acts 12, verse 5. Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing.
So Peter was arrested, and he was put in an ancient modern day way of concentration, a prison basically, which is a modern day concentration camp. You know, it was basically an open prison, outdoor prison.
Without ceasing of the church of unto Yahweh fallen. And when Herod would have brought him forth that same night, Peter was sleeping between two soldiers.
Yes, so the guards were there sleeping, conked out, and he was sleeping. Let's see what happens.
Bound with few chains, and the keepers before the door kept the prison. And
So he was bound, man, so there's no way of him escaping. Even if they was conked out, sleeping on the iron, like, you know, there's no way he's able to bait them chains and get out in time off his own accord without getting caught.
And behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison, and he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, Arise up quickly.
So the angel came and slapped Peter on his thigh and told him to get up. But he still thought he was in the dream, man. You know, you sleep. You know, you got the sleepy eye. You're sleepwalking and all that. You ain't really fully walking up yet. You know, you're sleepwalking kind of thing. You're half awake, half asleep. That's how he was, because he was in a deep sleep. So the angels came, tapped him on his right thigh or whatever, tapped him on his leg, told him, get up, man. And go ahead.
And his chains fell off his hands. And
So the chains just fell off of him. Go with me. Chains just fell off of him, like to say they was just loose. Like they was never tied to his skin. You know? All of a sudden everything just dropped, loosened up, so to speak. Go ahead.
And the angel said unto him, Gird thyself and bind on thy sandals. And so he did. And he said unto him, Cast thy garment about thee and follow me.
So he had to put on his clothes, put on his sandals, and then he said, follow me, man. Bust the gate open. It was like he just pushed the gate open. He didn't have to do no magnets. It's just like one of those ones. He just pushed the gate open for spiritual power, go ahead.
And he went out and followed him, and wist not that it was true which was done by the angel, but thought he saw a vision.
Yeah, he said he was half asleep. He was sleepy-eyed. He didn't know. He didn't really think he was awake. He probably thought he was still having a dream, but he was still moving, being a physical. It's not until he got outside and the wind hit his face, then he was like, oh shit, I'm outside. How the fuck did I get? Oh shit, that was an angel. You know. Then he realized I'm free. Same thing, like Lord won't intervene, man. But go ahead.
When they were past the first and the second wars,
They passed other wards, man. They passed other soldiers, guys.
they came unto the iron gate that leadeth unto the city, which opened to them of his own accord.
Yeah, so it just opened. You didn't even have to touch the gate. It was just open sesame type. So that type of power, you know. Angel just opened it with his mind. Had the power over the elements. The Lord gonna give us that power too. Just like in the Matrix, man, you saw it with Trinity and all that. They didn't know how to do certain things. They have to download it. Like the bitch, she didn't know how to fly a helicopter. She's like, oh yeah, wait a second. It's like, I start flickering and shit. Less than a minute, oh, I know how to fly a jet. I know how to fly a plane now. And all of a sudden, you know, this guy, Neo, he wanted weapons and all that. I need more weapons and that. And the next minute, he's got a whole load of shit with a ton of weapons he can use and pick from, man. Or he didn't know how to have strength to hold a plane or hold the helicopter. Then he wrapped it around his arm and he fucking held the shit. And you know what I'm saying? Or he didn't know how to leap over walls and he leapt over a fucking building. So another building, Morpheus told him, free your mind. You know? Then he leapt jumped onto the other side of another building, man. That's right. That spiritual power is a real thing, man. The Lord gonna give us that power to manipulate the elements, man. To be invisible, to reappear and disappear, to do kinds of stuff, to feed ourselves, you know, to make multiply foods. How Shai did it with the fish and the bread. Multiply 12 baskets full. And one like five loaves of bread and 2 fish, something like that. And he multiplied it to 12 baskets full of fish and bread, man. To the point where they had so much leftovers. Fresh, man. We're gonna be able to do that. Feed us and feed, people that are helping to escape, because they're all gonna be famished. They're all gonna be like, oh shit, hungry, We ain't gonna be around no local shops. The Lord might have it where we run into a house and might be food there, or might just create food out of nothing, man. Who knows, man? Food comes out of the earth. Go ahead. Water comes out of the ground. Go ahead.
It says, which opened to them of his own accord, and they went out and passed on through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from them.
Yeah, so they was moving like they're in the Matrix, just moving swiftly. Or like my man was the gatekeeper, the key.
Oh,
the little Chinese man
the
with
China man, yeah, with the key.
the keys, the key maker.
Key maker.
So this is going through very different doors. It's open one door, you open another door, you're here. All that kind of shit. Or like an adjustment bureau. Going through different realms and all that, through different doors, portals. So we can move. We're going to be able to move very quickly too. The scripture says in the Apocrypha, we're going to be like sparks amongst the stubble. Like you see Flash in the DC comics. You see Flash and all that. Speedsters. We're going to have that speed to move like lightning fast, man. So you want people won't even be able to see you. You might have thought you was there and then you just so fast they didn't even see you move. You just feel the wind. Go ahead.
Yep. It says, and when he was come to himself, he said, now I know of a surety.
So now you wipe the snot from his eyes, and he's like, oh shit, yeah, I'm awake now. Wind's hit my face and shit, I'm awake fully now. I know what's happening. Go ahead.
Now I know of a surety that the Lord hath sent his angel and hath delivered me out of the hand of Herod,
Yeah.
and from all the expectation of the people of the Jews.
That's it, man. So the Lord blessed Peter to escape. And the same thing he did for Peter, he's going to do for us, man. These things that are written aforetime and for our learning. These are stories that's supposed to bolden us in our faith, man, in these last days, in these walks. These apostles and all that, they was beaten, they was put into prison houses, they were scourged for this truth, but they were still delivered, man. For the most part. They were still delivered, and this time the Lord said it. And we're not all gonna sleep. Not every brother's gonna be a martyr in this truth. Not every brother's gonna get their head put in the guillotine. Certain brothers are gonna get their heads put in the guillotine as a witness for this truth. But yet and still, they're gonna be the first ones beamed up into the chariots, man. They're gonna be there front row seat before we do, before the rest of the elect get beamed up. They're gonna meet the Lord in the air before we do, basically. If you get your head chopped off in the guillotine, you get first dibs with the Lord, man. To see America burning. So either way, you're still gonna make it. But the Lord said we should not all sleep, meaning we're not all gonna die, man. The Lord wants to deliver us from different walks of life, man. As long as you're part of the Lord's elect, no matter where you are, what you look like, if you're a part of the elect, you're an Israelite, then you're gonna be delivered, man. And it's a beautiful thing, man. That's why you have to have faith. That's why we don't trust in earthly things. We don't care about material wealth. We don't care about minding, setting up things on the earth, like to say, obviously brothers have to work and all that, the 9 to 5 and shit. Yeah, brothers have to do that. Otherwise you ain't gonna be able to eat. We're still captives in this modern day slavery. So we still have to work and for labor and all that. But we're not trusting this society like to say, we have to fully invest in it, we have to do all these, try and get these world accolades and all that to appease these devils, so they can look at us like to say, yeah, he's an upstanding citizen, he needs a reward and all that. Like, fuck all that, man. The Lord said, love not the world, man. Fuck the world, man. What's the world gonna do when all hell breaks loose for you, man? What's all the accolades and all that shit gonna do for you? Nothing. It's gonna be for naught. That shit won't be able to deliver you in these last days, man. But what's gonna deliver you? Your faith in Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. Like throughout all walks of life, whatever you're going through, whether it's sickness unto death, or you're losing things, you're made homeless, or your wife's left you, your children are turning, anything, man, anything you've forsaken in this life, the Lord said He's going to retrieve to you 100-fold. So I'm going to get that. Matthew 19 and 28. Yeah, you got it.
This is Psalms 18 and 29.
Yeah.
For by thee I have run through a troop, and by my power have I leaped over a wall.
Yeah, so that was King David, man. Up until his late ages, like, he had that spiritual power, man. Up until his elderly age. And this time when he comes back, he's just going to be immortal, man. He's not going to die. He's just going to be the immortal king, physical king of the nation of Israel, man. We're all going to be made immortal if we're part of the Lord's elect. So we're going to be able to do things that's unimaginable, man. That these devils can only dream of doing, man. But they ain't got the blessing to, because they're not the sons of the Most High. They're not the children of Israel, man. And only the elect are going to be the ones on this go around to have that power first, and then in the kingdom, all Israel is going to be made immortals, man. From our children, all that. Newborns, they're never going to taste of death ever again. We're going to live forever. We're going to be living in abundance and pleasure forever, man. In righteousness, though. No more Diddy parties and all that, man. We're going to be doing it the righteous way. There's nothing wrong with having many women, dealing with many women. But you can't do it the way Diddy was doing it. Especially having other men deal with your wives and all that. You can't be doing that. That's off. That's adultery, man. When you sleeping with another man's wife, that's adultery. You can't do that. There's nothing wrong with a man having many wives. That's going to be a normal thing. Polygamy is going to be the norm. Even before the kingdom, you're going to have many women coming to certain brothers, man. 7 women shall take hold of 1 man. There's a lot of women that are going to be looking for the men of the Lord in these last days, man. And they're going to come in abundance. They're going to come in droves. And even the women, they're going to have to deal with the fact they're going to have to share. Because we're not going to be complaining. The man's not going to complain if we've got more than 1, 2, 3, 4 wives, man. He's not going to complain. But the women, they're going to have to eat that too. They're going to have to conform. They're going to have to be willing to share their man. Because that's how it's going to go down. Polygamy is a big thing. There's a righteous way of doing things, and there's a wicked way of doing things, man. And obviously Diddy did it the wicked way, because he was following the lust of his father, the devil. That behavior that he was doing, the lifestyle and the way he learned, that was learned behavior. That was learned behavior from the devils that he was under, them record execs and all of that, which they're the small hats. So they taught him all that wicked way, all that wickedness, how to be a deviant, basically, right? And there was other wicked jakes that followed that lifestyle that taught them, and they taught him, because that's the way you succeed on that side. You have to do all that deviancy and all that demonic shit to make it in a society.
Psalms 144 and 1, a psalm of David. Blessed be the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight.
Yes, brothers don't necessarily have to take martial arts, but it would help. But there's a lot of brothers that really just these feeble flesh. They ain't never threw a punch in their life. Probably, don't know what it is to really get to combat and jump over fortress walls. Who trains to jump over fortress walls? No one. The Lord's gonna give you the power to all of a sudden. All of a sudden you're gonna know you're gonna be able to leap over tall ass buildings, or lift up a tank and throw it at someone's head. Or just go through a troop, go through a whole mountain of armies and just dismantle a whole army with not a scratch on you, man. That's the kind of power King David had. Go through a whole army and not a scratch was left on him, man. Like it says, Saul had his thousands and David his tens of thousands, man. Straight up warriors. So the Lord won't put that warrior type spirit back in Jake. Because it is the house of David that's being revived all over again. Tabernacle of David. So that power's coming, man. So that's why we gotta have more and more faith, be more and more spiritual, man. You know? That's what we gotta lean upon in these last days more and more, man. If you really want to get the blessing from the Father through your only begotten Son, that's what you gotta lean on, man. You know, that's the only way you can. It says it. Hebrews 11:6. It's impossible to please Him without faith.
I want to think the Lord always rebukes man about lack of faith.
Yeah, because that's another thing. Peter in the boat.
Yeah.
He had faith at first, and the Lord told him come out on the water. He had faith, and he was like, yeah, I'll come out. Started walking, but then he started to doubt, and then he started to drown, man. He forgot himself basically. And the Lord had to, you know, because the Lord said He's always going to be with us even to the end of the world. And that was a small example of that. The Lord just lifted him up. You see, you have little faith, man, because He's always going to be with us. No matter how far we have to drop and fall, don't give up faith, man. Don't give up. Don't give in, basically. You know? This is all leading up to the hour of temptation. That's the final test. And that's a test that we can't fail, man. That's why we're always going into that topic, because it's a major prophecy in deliverance in these last days, man. It's whether you pass or fail that test, is whether you're going to make it on the chariot or not, man. Really. You know, because the ones that don't take that trip, you know, they're going to make it onto the chariots, man. They're part of the Lord's elect. But the ones that do take that trip, they're damned. They're destroyed. They're going to get destroyed. They're going to be death. They're going to receive death on the side. They're not going to make it to the end. If the Lord's not going to deliver 2/3 of His own people, how the hell is He going to deliver the other nations? What, you're going to make us extra space for them on the chariot? So you're going to have Edomites and Moabites in the chariot. You're insane. You think the Lord's ever going to put a heathen on the chariot with the men of the Lord? In them decrepit bodies. You have to be transformed in these bodies into your spirit, new body to even enter those chariots first and foremost. Just like Elijah, you know, he dematerialized and then he materialized into his new body in the chariot, man. You can't go into them chariots in these bodies, man. So how the hell the Lord going to deliver the heathen? Where are they going to have a seat in the chariot? Edomite with skin disorder of leprosy. He's going to be sitting next to a Jake, you know, a fucking big, blonde, looking ass angel, or a Jake that's part of the Lord's elect. You're going to have a spare seat for Esau. And you're like, you got to be crazy. They're called the chariots of Israel for a reason, man. Because they're only for seats for a specific people, a specific tribe, a specific nation known as Israelites, man. They're not for the other nation. Even if the other nations look like, even if you've got jakes that look like the other nation, as they're transcending up into the chariots, they're going to receive their new clothing, man. They're going to receive their new body. So by the time they get into the chariot, they're not going to be looking how they looked as they did, if they looked like a heathen on the earth. Like if it was Bruce Lee getting beamed up, he might look like that, but as soon as he's getting beamed up into the ship, he's going to dematerialize and materialize into his new body. He's going to be looking like a so-called dark-skinned man with afro and all that, man. And a beard, tall as hell and all that. With a long garment down to the foot. It says they're going to be dressed in white. So we're going to have white garments. You know? We're not going to be looking like the other nations in the chariots, man. We're going to receive them new bodies. That's the whole point. Guys, man, you mixing up and twisting up and remixing and just creating confusion, man. The Lord says He's not the author of confusion. The other nations, there's no salvation for the other nations, man. When you go into that word stranger in Isaiah 14, it's different from the word stranger in Isaiah 56, man. Isaiah 56, the word there is Micaiah, or Nakar, which means the other nations, the actual heathen Gentile, stranger. But Isaiah 14 and 1, the stranger there is God, which is an Israelite foreigner, man. It's two different strangers, man. What the hell is your problem, man? Why are you causing all this fucking mayhem, man? Because you sold out. You'd be better off just not teaching the truth and going about your business, man. Take your money and just go off, man. You know, enjoy your money until the missiles come, basically. Why are you gonna come and pervert the gospel, man? What are you trying to prove, man? Many have tried and many have fallen short, man. Many have failed. You ain't gonna do no different. What makes you so special? Genesis think they're going to do something so benevolent that they're going to be able to change up the whole doctrine, and they're just going to, confound great millstone. You guys are fucking stupid as hell, man. You're loose balling.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Lord said in Revelations, man, if he that addeth to the word, the Lord shall add to your damnation in this time. He that me taketh away from the word, the Lord will take away your seed. Man. So we're playing a dangerous game.
Playing with fire. And you guys, you curse yourself anyway. Because it tells you that in Galatians 1, it said, let them be accursed. Anyone that tries to pervert the gospel. So you put curses on yourself, man. We don't have to do it for you. You put the curses on yourself when you started perverting the gospel, man. When you start to change things up. Salvation is of the Gentiles and all this madness. And the reason why I was getting on you because it's a buck was because you was wish-washy. You was basically defending those two magpies when you know that they're in error. If you had the real understanding and the Spirit was dealing with you, you'd know that those guys are in error. Because salvation is not of the other nations, man. There is no salvation for them. So you was agreeing with them saying, yeah, I like them good. I like Genesis and all that, but it's not about liking, man. It's about the doctrine. What are you teaching, man? If you're teaching madness, it's gonna get called out. You're gonna get reproved and rebuked. I don't care how you feel, man. It's ain't about your feelings, man. We're here to defend the gospel, man. The true apology as the men of the Lord, from the apostles and elders, the great millstone, because we're defending the gospel at all costs. We don't care how people feel, man. Or we hurting your feelings. That just shows you guys are beta males, man. You got a weak, timid, weak woman-like spirit on you, man. You guys are not real leaders, man. You're not real teachers. You're not really to risk it all on the battlefield, man. You ain't about that life. You guys ain't about that life, man. You're not ready to risk it all to be defamed and, get cast out and talked down upon. You guys are not, obviously not, because you're willing to just be PC. You want to be PC Israelites. You're trying to make this shit sound smooth, man. This truth is not smooth.
When the Apostle Paul used to speak, he used to have protests and riots kick off.
Yeah.
Even when the scribes and Pharisees called for the apostles to get arrested, they had to do it carefully because they were scared that the people would just basically go off in the uproar.
Roused up, man.
They were roused up. They were roused up.
Don't be rude in speech, not in knowledge, man. We ain't here to be no PC Israelites, man. Fuck all that, man. The Lord didn't say he gave us a spirit of PC. He gave us a spirit of boldness, man. Not to be PC and soften up the words or be a great oral. So you can beguile people. You're not teaching the whole truth. That's why you guys you're going to remain the same until you either repent or you're just going to get destroyed, man. Pick your poison, man, but that's the way it's going to go down. Because you got the real examples from you, starting from the apostles and elders, the great most of the apostle elder to heart, on down. Those are the true examples that you're supposed to follow, man. If you ain't following what they're teaching, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Because they're teaching the doctrine of Yahweh Shai. So the doctrines that you guys are teaching is of the world. You're teaching some other doctrines, man. Trying to conform to society. Why was the Yahweh Shai hating? Why was the apostles and disciples hating? So much. If they was teaching PC, if they was trying to appease people's feelings, they didn't give a shit about people's feelings. They had to tell them the truth. The truth hurts, man. And for the most part, people don't like to see it. People don't like it when you hold a mirror to their face, basically. You show them the error in their ways. No one likes it. But if it's the truth, it's the truth, man. You have to suck it up and deal with it. Repent. Don't double down in your wickedness and become more stubborn, stiff-hearted. That just means you're a demon and you're going to be destroyed, man. You're rebellious as hell. And rebellion is what? Is a sin form of witchcraft. So you're going to get the same punishment that a witch will get for being rebellious as hell, which is what? Death. Adding sin to sin and all that, man. So I think I called for something before. 1928, yeah.
This is Matthew chapter 19 and verse 28. And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
So reincarnation, which the Lord was very into, was the main topic of discussion. Yahushua, we were talking about reincarnation. He's told us right there that when he comes back, the second coming, he's going to anoint certain men. He's going to crown those men, like it tells you in the protocol, and they're going to receive throneship, rulership over the nations, man. Power over the nations, Revelation 2:26. We're going to rule over our oppressors, man. And everything that we lost, everything we sacrificed, whether it was your job, your family, your pet, whatever it was, man, finances, whatever it is, living it up, your career, so to speak, aspiring careers. Anything you gave up on this side, the Lord going to give you back 100 for it, man. Any business that you was trying to endeavor, you're going to have businesses you can't even count. The amount of businesses and ownership you're going to have in the kingdom, you're not going to be able to count how many you got. You're just going to be living off the fruits of the land, man. You're just going to be living in abundance. You're going to be living like how the Rothschilds and all that are living now. Like generational wealth, trillionaires and that. We're going to be more richer than they are. That's just going to be the average Jake. A man of the Lord, the elect, they're going to be like the rich upon rich. Super dirty rich, like. And then you're going to have the average Israelite, it's going to be rich, stupid rich as well. Every Israel, there's not going to be poverty in Israel, man, in the kingdom of heaven. There's not going to be no such thing as a poverty, a poor Israelite or welfare system for a Jake in the kingdom of heaven. Because everyone's going to be, there's going to be plenty to go around, put it that way. Plenty of servants, plenty of work to do, plenty of labor, plenty of land to live off, plenty of substance, plenty of women, plenty of children, and all of that good stuff, man, that comes with it. We're going to be living like kings, man, for real. How kings are supposed to live. So you're going to have to worry about wealth in the kingdom to come. Any little business you had here, you have to get LLC or the LTD company. Don't worry about that, man. We're going to get so many businesses in the kingdom, we ain't going to be able to keep up. You're going to be living off the benefits of that. Profits. The Lord says that the gates of Jerusalem are going to be open continually. You're going to get in the stock of the resources, the goods, the beauty of the Gentiles, man. Constantly getting their goods, and them too. You're going to be multiplying them to, breed more slaves, man. For them to put their asses to work. So we're not going to lack nothing in the kingdom, man. So that's why we don't have to worry on this side. You don't have to lay up treasures on the earth. Moth and rust off corrupt. We got things to come in a shadow, foreshadowing the things to come.
John 14:2, in my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you.
So it's going to be so much multiplying in this earth with Jake. I read last week in Jeremiah 30, I don't know if you want to get it again. We were multiplying so much that the earth is not going to be able to contain us, man. We're going to have to go out into the galaxies, man. We're going to have to go out into the universe. We're going to have to go out to different planets. To different planets to inhabit them and live off the land there. Like Esau's got plans to go to Mars, Jason wants to go to this place. They'll never do it though. Because first and foremost, they ain't got the technology to take them there and back. They're still working on that type of technology to get them to go there and come back. Which is going to take them another how many 100 to 1,000 years forever, and how long ever it's going to take for them to ever do it. So they ain't got that time to do that. If they had the time, they would try and do it though, but they ain't got the time to do that. So we're going to be able to do that in the blink of an eye. Why? Because we already got the chariots, man. And chariots can go way beyond this atmosphere, stratosphere, to different galaxies, different orbits. And the universe is endless, man. It's infinite. Like space and all that, the heavens, the second heaven, third. Space is infinite, man. There's so much space out there. That's why it's just called space. Because it's infinite. So there's going to be planets upon planets, suns, different moons, all them different things out there, man. The brothers gonna have their own setup, man. You gonna have your own planets if you want to, man. Name it after yourself, you know? Who knows? But the Lord said he's got many mansions, meaning he's got, well, we can't count the amount of planets in the heavens, man. You can count the amount of planets there are out there, man. Or just in our atmosphere alone, how many planets there are, wherever, you know? And the Lord's been working on that since he departed 2,000 years ago, man. He went to a prepared place for us. So by the time he returns, there's habitations and planets out there ready for us to inhabit, man. Planets just waiting to be used. It's got clean waters and resources, all of that. You know, set up for us to just take it over and inhabit it. And we're going to build on the land, we're going to have slaves working in those lands. All of that good stuff, man. You know? We're going to really take, it's going to be an Israelite invasion for real. We're going to boldly go to a place where no man has gone before. Star Trek, all of that. That's talking about us. Star Wars and all everything there. And jump it up.
Says, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, that ye may be also.
Yeah, so the Lord's coming to deliver his elect. And that's why we're not supposed to be in the Holy Land right now. You got a bunch of jakes over there in the Mona Israel, living next to a nuclear silo, right? They tried to force to basically take the hand of the Lord, because the Lord said we're not supposed to be over there right now. So those jakes, the majority of them, they're not going to make it. When that land gets hit with nuclear fire, a lot of them jakes over there are going to get burnt out, man. They're going to be made toast. Because we was never supposed to be there in the first place. Especially living next to a damn nuclear silo. What kind of shit is that? That means you're just ready to go. That's the first place that's going to get exploded and be destroyed, man. Living next to a damn silo. So when the smoke is cleared, so to speak, and we come down from the chariots, like I told you in Revelation 21, and we're taking over the earth, then we're going to go back to the land of Israel. And that's when we're going to go back and inhabit that land and set up the land, put slaves there to build and rebuild on the ashes of the land, basically. Like I told you in the scriptures. We're going to rebuild. And they're the ones that's going to be building. We're not going to lift up a finger, man. So strangers are going to lift up their strangers are going to build our walls, man. That's talking about the other nations. I'm sure the Hebrew word there is Makar, to the other nations, man. Strangers shall build up thy walls. We're going to build up nothing, man. We're going to be giving out the orders, telling them to build this, cut this down, build there, do this, do that. You know, we're going to be giving them the orders, man. We're going to be delegating orders and giving them the harsh reality of what oppression is all about. Giving the whiplash and all of that, man. Making them work from sun up to sundown. And the only day of rest they're going to get, the heathen, is the Sabbath. Or on a high holy day or something like that, which is usually a Sabbath, man. A day of rest. That's the only day these heathens are not going to work, man. But other than that, they're going to be getting their backs whipped day and night, man. Not only just by us, but our taskmasters that we put over them. We're going to make sure that they do their job and report back to us, man. They cut down, they hew down them trees like I told you to. Did they service the land like I told you to? Did they build that building? You know? We're going to be giving them orders, we're delegating orders, man, and making sure they do their job. And if they don't do their job, they're going to get their asses whooped. That's what slavery is all about, man. Making your slaves do something that they don't want to do. Taking someone to make them do something that's against their will. That's what these devils did to us. They took us against our will, bought some cargo slave ships, and then tried to re-educate us, gave us slave names, and took our Hebrew language and took our Hebrew names away from us, man. Because we weren't speaking English when we came over to the West. They re-educated us as our people, man. Look what they did to the Native American Indians, man. They re-educated them, put them in their schools, you know. Totally separated the generation after generation, so they became more and more Gentile type in the mind, you know, more Greekish in the mind. So they went from Hellenization to Westernization. That's why you got Jakes the way they are now, telling them that they're Israelites, and Jakes are just looking at us like we got four eyes, man. Jakes are looking at us all weird. They're telling them you're the people of the Bible, you're the guys, you're the people that walked through the Red Sea with Moses. They're looking at you. Like, is this guy all right? They're looking at us all weird, not knowing that that's your history, man. That's your actual history. Not that you was in Africa swinging on trees, eating bananas and that. We actually did things as a people, yeah. We actually have history in relation to the actual scriptures, man. Yeah, our ancestors are Israelites, man. That's our heritage. Our language, our actual language is Hebrew, not no fucking English. Our actual language is Hebrew. Jakes, you looking at you all weird, scratching their head like, what's this guy talking about, man? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm Jamaican, man. I don't know. I'm a yardie, man. Call me a yardie and all that. I and I. Rastafari. Imagine you Bank Senior come out here and we told him, look, man, you're an Israelite. Oh, Rastafari. That's all he ever said. Well, I remember when his son Sebastian came out there, he was in central London, we told him he was an Israelite and he ate it. He actually agreed. It's like he had the uncle, he was into that Pan-Africanism there. Because he was in that Pan-African chain with the uncle. You know? It was like around about summertime, so I remember he had a vest on, and he had a big uncle chain on his neck. Like, he's into that Pan-Africanism. But we told him he was an Israelite, and he's like a quiet person anyway. You can see he's more like an incel, quiet person. He just agreed with nodding his head. He's like, yeah, I can see that. You know? But if we spoke to Junior, I'm sure he probably wouldn't have agreed. Junior would just be like, no, I'm just a boxer, man. I'm fighting for the, you know how he is. He's trying to be like his father, man. Spitting English. But if you spoke to Senior, he'd just be like, no, Rastafari, because he's into that Rastafarianism. But he's an Israelite. He ain't no Rastafari. That Rastafari goes back to them fucking heathen-ass Elamites, man. All that weed smoking and all that. That comes from them Indians, man. They're the ones that were smoking all that weed and all that shit, man. Smoking the hemp and all that, smoking that, the hemp seeds and all that, whatever you want to call it, THCs and all that. Growing out long ass dreads. That's a heathenistic custom, man. That ain't an Israelite custom. Jakes used to have braids. They pull their head, either cut their head or they grow their head to the afro, or they have braids, cornrows or whatever. We don't have no dreadlocks, man. That's a heathenistic custom, but yet still, that's what Jake under. That's the spirit Jake under. In a heathenistic state of mind. A Greekish, Hellenistic, westernized state of mind right now. They don't know who they are. That's why it's called the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Because they don't know who they are. That's why the Lord has the men out here. Just like we was lost. We were once lost. We're still considered Gentiles. But we're in the Gentile state of mind no more. We're woken up. The Lord woke us up at that Gentile state of mind. Because before this, we could have thought, oh, I'm just Nigerian, or I'm just Ghanaian, or I'm from Sierra Leone, or I'm from Zimbabwe, you know, Guyanese, or whatever, any islands, South Central, North, South and Central America, any of those islands, I'm Hispanic, people that, you know, because them Hispanics, they actually think that Spanish is their modern day language, man. That's their ancient language. That's the language of your fucking slave masters, man. You guys are so proud and be whitewashed in the mind. You look up to the white man like he's your savior. That's why you even get dark-skinned Dominicans saying, you tell them you're Dominican, you're like, no. You know, they want to be white. You got dark-skinned Dominicans talking about they want to be the white man. That's why they don't fuck with the Haitians, because they're just dark, you know, they're darker. But they're brothers, that's Levi and Simeon right there. They were known to being together. One hates the other because of the white supremacist brainwashing that they've got in their head. Because most of them, so Hispanic tribes, they prescribe to be called in Puerto Ricans and all that. They want to be white so bad. They don't like being called dark skin, or they don't mingle themselves with the darker people of their tribes. look at them as like, basically, that's a bad thing to look at, like, to be dark skinned. But that's a righteous thing. So our people are all confused, man. That's why the Lord is raising up the elect. For the house of Judah and the house of Ephraim, man. For the house of Joseph. He's raising up the 12 tribes. And then you got the mixed multitude as well, but they're all Israelites, man. The ones in Revelation 7 and 9, 5 and 9. Those are Israelites that's, that look like the other nations. So this is a mystery, because this is one of the, it says that in the scriptures, is a mystery. The Gentile thing. That's why still to this day, you got these wacky-tacky Christians, and guys like Captain Cesario arguing online about who the Gentiles are. And that's all the wacky-tacky Christians want to talk about, is who the Gentiles are. And when we tell them who they are, they just don't agree. Because if it's not the so-called white man, then they don't agree. Esau has to be part of the Gentiles that's going to be saved. Otherwise, they don't want to see salvation, basically. Madness, but this is what we have to deal with. The Lord's about to close up shop too. So any precepts?
Just a point of speaking. This is Jeremiah 17 and 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger which shall burn forever.
So our people discontinue from our heritage, meaning our way of life, the customs and all that was lost in translation, man. Because we got translated from one place to another during the transatlantic slave trade, man. We got transitioned from one place to another, and our oppressors made sure that they kept our history and our nationality away from us, man. They beat it out of us, basically. They made sure they beat it out of us, and they kept us down as a people. That's why they gave us hip-hop. And they gave us all these degenerate forms of socialism and all of these different things, entertainment, to keep Jake bemused and confused, and to keep us down as a people. In a degenerate state, to not wake up and realize who the fuck we really are. They gave us world-star hip-hop, man. Instead of giving us the Bible and all that, telling us where the 12 tribes of Israel, they gave us world-star hip-hop. Look what Jake did, man. Jake endorsed that shit. They gave us hip-hop. They gave us all these different genres, gangster rap, drill rap, and all that. And then they paid off certain Jakes to reinforce it, to keep our people in a docile state. That's why you got all these degenerates nowadays, man. These YNs and all that. Doing madness. But now, what did Trump say? You Zoes out there, from the tribe of Levi, you Haitians, over there in Chirac and all of that, over there in Miami. What did Trump say? From February the 6th, he's coming after your asses, man. The same thing he was doing to them tribes, the Hispanic tribes, with the ICE squad, raiding up the people, waiting for them in line and all that outside of their schools and their businesses to arrest the Hispanics and all that come from the Northern Kingdom. He said he's going to start doing that to the Southern Kingdom, man, starting with the Haitians. And there's a large concentration of Haitians over there in Chicago, man. Those are those same niggas that are shooting up each other every other second, man. Talking about Zoe this and Zoe that. But you're from the tribe of Levi. So that's showing you that the time of Jacob's trouble is really going to pop off in 2026. And Trump also said in January that he's going to have a large influx of about 500 deployed martial law National Guard troops ready to be deployed at any given time to restore the order, man. To basically come after the tribes in the different states. When all hell's breaking loose. 2026 is going to be a very, very pivotal year of chaos, man. Abarazal, man. And anarchy. And more order of chaos, psyops going on. And hopefully Esau is pushing full throttle the mark of the beast system, making the mandate, and then after that, things are just going to fly, even quicker. Time's going to fly by even quicker, man. And then before you know it, the missiles are going to be flying. Putin ain't going to be sending no more threats. So as of recent, Putin's been saying he's going to attack Europe and all that. He said he ain't fucking around, he's going to attack Europe, he's going to wipe Europe out. and he's going to go after America next. But when that time comes, like it says in Isaiah, man, they're not going to regard gold nor silver. Medes, which are the modern day Russians, Gog and Magog, they're not going to regard gold and silver, meaning the negotiations, the back and forth, all that's going to come to an end. And all you're going to receive is nuclear fire, man. Nuclear missile, man, getting flown out, hitting your asses. And the Chinese said the same thing. For every missile that you shoot, whatever, they said they're going to retaliate. For everyone that you said, I think they said, for everyone that you said that they're going to return to. So these nations are getting prepared for war. And that's going to be the war of Armageddon, man, the war to end all wars. It's coming fast, man, so we ain't got no time to be investing in land. World War III's right around the corner, man. Yeah. Trying to set up schematics on where you want to put the parking lots in the world. We ain't got time for that, man. That shit's gonna get wiped out anyway. You guys have got the wrong mindset, man. You guys are thinking about the wrong thing. But that shows you that your eyes are not single, man. You also let your eye be single. For whatever someone wants to get that report.
Wherever your mind is, there will your treasure be.
Yeah, whatever your heart beat also. So your minds are not on the end of this world. That's why most of them camps, they don't push about the day of judgment. They don't push judgment day. They don't push the time of Jacob's trouble. And they definitely don't push the mark of the beast. Because they're trying to say the mark of the beast is not where it is, which is the chip. They're trying to say it's everything under the sun but the chip, man. So you're not preparing your congregation for what's coming, for end time, for nuclear war. You're not preparing them, man, so they're going to get caught out there. Majority of them, man. Majority of the people out there are going to take the chip and they're going to be destroyed. Right?
Yeah. Matthew 6:22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore...
Yeah, if you got ulterior motives, instead of just doing what the Lord told you to do, which is spread this light, you know, shed this light, don't hide it under a bushel and all that. If you got some ulterior motives, then that means you're encamping yourself in darkness, like the IUIC. That's why they're waxing worse and worse, man. And they're breaking down the precepts wrong, because the light's getting dimmer and dimmer on them, man. At one time they had the light, but now you can see the Lord's taking away the light from them, man. Because their hearts are more contrite or more receptive to the darkness, man. They're really trying to make it in society instead of trying to escape.
If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
Yeah, the light's great. You can see it in Nate, man. That darkness is great, Salakia. You can see it in Nate. The way he talks and the way he goes on, carries himself. He's covered in a gross darkness, man. His congregation is definitely covered in gross darkness. They're straight zombies, man. They're just walking blind, man. All they can see is the purple and gold. That's the purple and gold garment. And that's what they're conforming to. That uniform, man.
I was reading the comment in that scripture.
Yeah, so them guys are in gross darkness. And they start from their leader, their head. And if the leader don't wake up, stop teaching that madness that he's teaching, and repent, then they're going to continue to stay in gross darkness until the missiles come, man. That's what Isaiah 69 says. 2/3 are going to be blinded until basically the day of destruction, the day of the Lord's wrath. Then they're going to be able to see fully what's going on, but by then it's going to be too late. They're marked for destruction, deletion. So you don't want to risk it and wait until then. Get this truth while the getting is good, while the Lord is still around, man. And the only way the Lord's going to still be showing himself that the doors of mercy are still open is through his men. Us being on the World Wide Web, speaking these online epistles, trying to get Jake to get in the right spirit to repent and get ready for what's coming, man. Prepare yourself spiritually, not necessarily physically, but prepare yourself spiritually, man, for what's to come. There's going to come a time when the word of the Lord is going to become faint even more. It's going to be a famine of the words. And in that time, that's when you're really going to have to rely on what he was taught, on your faith, wherever you truly believed. You know, that's what's going to come into play. So, I don't know what the time is on there. last couple 2 seconds and close out. Yeah, man, we come out here and we say the same things, we reiterate the same things because the Lord said the repetition is the father's skill. Yeah, and even the scriptures, they're repetitive. Why? Because the Lord is always about warning, man. It's always about making Jake try to remember. That's why he's always constantly talking about, remember when he brought us out of the land of Egypt. Remember this and remember how the Lord saved us out of the trial. Because he's trying to make us remember that we gotta think on him. He's the only one, he's the only way out. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is the only way out. There is no other way, man. So if you're not thinking upon him in these last days, you're free. You're done.
This is remember the old ancient paths, and we're supposed to reflect back on the way that our forefathers lived.
Yeah.
The righteous ones are that, because ultimately that's the example, man, the benchmark. Isaiah 58 and 1, old scripture,
Really, man.
cry aloud and spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet and show my people their transgression and the house of Jacob their sins.
Yeah, so that's the main point of being reproved, man. It says to rebuke, reprove, and exhort with all long suffering. And that's what we do through the Spirit. It says open rebuke is better than secret love. So if you see a brother going off, we got to rebuke you in the Spirit, man. We're not doing it because we hate you. We're really doing it because we love you. That's called tough love, man. That's how the Father deals with, tough love. Just because the Lord loves you, he ain't going to just give you the easy way out. It's going to make you go through shit. Give you a learning experience, basically. But at the same time, it's going to embolden you, it's going to strengthen you mentally. And then you're going to think upon the Lord more. You're going to put more trust in the Lord because he's the one that can deliver you out of any torment and any type of, problem, basically. All things are possible with the Lord. So that's what it's all about. You've got to think upon Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We can't deliver ourselves, man. But Jake was just stubborn as all hell. When we're out here trying to tell Jake, get right, stop butchering the scriptures, stop adding on, it's really a warning from the Lord. The Lord speaks through his men. So he's warning you, basically, stop messing around with my word, man, before I destroy you. I'm warning you. Constantly, because he's long-suffering. So the Lord's constantly warning you, man. But then there's going to come a time when the warnings are going to stop. And it's not about how it sounds and all that. It's about the message, man. Because if you're concentrating on how the way you said it and all that, then instead of listening to the actual message and the intention, the context basically of the message, then you're really thinking like a woman. You're really just emotional. That's how women think. Because that's how they will say. Anytime you say something, but if it's the truth, no matter how harsh it sounds, it's not about how it was said. It's about what was said. And if you're complaining about what was said, or how it was said, instead of what was said, and that means you're just really emotional, you're caught up in your feelings. That's why certain guys can't deal with certain subjects in the scriptures, because for them it's too harsh, you can't drink that, it's too hard, that part of the bread's too hard for him to swallow. The Lord said eat the whole roll though. You're going to get soft parts, you're going to get hard parts. Like having a baguette. You got a baguette and you get the hard parts and tough, rugged. You don't necessarily like those parts. Sometimes you want to throw it away, or you have to eat it. The Lord said eat that though. Don't just put it to the side, eat it. You got to chew a bit more, it might be hard a bit. But then you get to the softer parts and then you enjoy that more. So that's just like the scriptures, man. You're going to have the harsh and you're going to have the rough and you're going to have the soft parts as well. The good with the bad, basically. Not soft as you're going to be teaching some whimpery, watered down version of the truth. But soft is there's going to be more things that's easier to deal with than the hot, like the law on having a beard. That's soft. That's not something hard to deal with. But you still got Jake struggling with that. They don't want to grow a beard in their face. Unless it comes to like a trendy type of thing. Now you're getting more Jakes nowadays growing beards. But Jake still want to line it up and make it look all sweet and shit. For the galleys. For the gal them. Trying to be the gal them sugar. But man are supposed to look rough. Men were never supposed to look pretty. Men are not supposed to be pretty, man. That's for the women. Beauty and all that shit, being pretty. That's women, man. Because nowadays you see it on online. You get all these metrosexual jakes, man. They get the facial things, they get all these little facial stickers and shit, they're putting it on their face, they're putting all these different balms on their face. Like, being like a woman. You can see it in their tendencies and the way they're talking in front of the camera. You can see them reacting and talking like a damn woman. Certain men are wearing bonnet hats and shit like that, looking like a damn gal. the fuck is going on, man? It's looking bare fruity, man. And they're speaking, they're talking fruity as well. You can hear your voice in the camera. It sounds like you got a dildo in your back pocket, man. See one Jake, I was watching the video and I seen him start putting the little stickers under the eyes.
Yeah, no.
You know, it's just like metrosexual shit, man. He's just talking bare like galley, like he's wiping makeup and you know, like, bro, this is some batty bullshit. What was men doing all this? Now they got adverts out there advertising for men, like the same like L'Oreal, all them type of girl products, makeup products. They got men ones now.
Yeah, no.
And you got men doing the adverts and shit. You know, parading like to say they're women. Men used to have the Gillette ones. Gillette, the best. And you have them out, shaving off the beard. You know that man, even when that's going off. But the Gillette is like it's supposed to be rough men. You know? Now they got L'Oreal adverts for men. Chanel and all that. All these fruity type adverts, man. And men are endorsing this shit. Men are becoming women, man. And women are becoming more masculine, man. It's all fucked up. This is why we need Yahweh Shai. Otherwise there's gonna be no flesh left to be saved, man. We need Yahweh Shai, man. When you see shit like that, that's what Lot was having to deal with. Fruity ass men. Even, what was this guy, Corey Holcomb, the comedian went into it. This guy into the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Because he's a comedian, he put his little spin on it. But he was breaking it down how basically we break it. You know, these niggas in Sodom and Gomorrah were so wicked that Lot had two guests, two angels, and he even made mention of the angels, like to say they were Jakes, like he knew they were Jakes. He to say they were solid, they were strong, masculine men. When they came to Lot's house, you know these niggas knocked on this man's door and said, bring those men out. We want that ass. We want that ass. You know how Corey is, man. We want that ass. And he said, look, because he's against all this Sodom and Gomorrah shit. He curses that shit out. Because he knows all that Hollywood shit, all that batty boy Diddy shit. He knows that. And he said they'll never accept him with that. In that industry, in that world. Because he's never been for that backdooria shit. He's always exposed him. Like, he hates the backdooria niggas. And he's like, this is you backdooria niggas. You know, so basically he's like, this is modern day, America's modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. That's basically what he was saying, which is true. Reincarnation it is, man. Spiritually Sodom and Egypt. That's America. Babylon the Great. So then he said when they said our Lot came out, I said, look, man, I'll give you my daughters, man. Daughters is fresh, man. I said, fuck that. Bring those two men out here now. Bring those men out here now. You want that ass. And then he said, oh yeah, the angels came out, and then he said he just blinded them. And he said, look, get your family, get the fuck out of here. We about to light this shit up. Basically, you know, Queen of Heaven type worship. That's why these women just do it out here, just doing the most. But the time of Jacob's trouble, you women are going to be getting so much death and judgment. It's not going to be funny, man. And that's why all you women are going to be running, looking for the man of the Lord. And in that day, we're going to really have the leverage, man. We're going to be very, very picky as well. Like women like to be picky. We're going to be very picky in that day. Because you're going to find out that the man is the prize, man. You women are not the prize. You was lied to by the devil. He lied to you and told you could be a goddess, and you could be you're the prize, and you can usurp authority over the man. He lied to you, man. The man's always been the prize. Right? Because we got the royal oats, man. We got the crown. We got the crown jewels, man. We got the seat. So, you know, the Lord's really going to open up in the tribes out here, women especially. That's why Ezekiel 9:4 tells you, man. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. So young women and older women, especially you older women that are stuck in your ways, you're going to just get wiped out. All you independent, you know, I'm strong this, I'm strong that, talking shit. You women are just going to get wiped out because you're too old, you got too much trauma to deal with, you got too much baggage, and you're stuck in your ways, man. So the Lord's just going to give brothers fresh young things. Like you saw that video, it's going viral, brothers, the 19-year-old chick, young chick, 19-year-old, the brother was questioning her, saying, why are these women basically behaving the way they are? And she just said it straight, man, because they're the slowest, man. Because they ain't got no decency, man. No discernment. They ain't no sobriety, man. They're not humble. They're too proud. And when they were supposed to get when they were supposed to be getting a young man or getting a husband in their young 20s and mid 20s and that, they was out there being a hoe. It's not until they reach 30 years old and they got a drink in their hand and they're sitting at the bar, that's when they realise they fucked up and they wasted a lot of time doing nothing. But that's this modern day society. That's what Esau pushes, that feminism bullshit, which is a lie. That's a big lie, man. That's witchcraft, man. Feminism is witchcraft. Because it makes you women believe that you can survive without a man. You don't need a man. That's never been true throughout history, since the beginning of time. The woman was created for the man. It says the woman should be a help. And the woman came out of the man wasn't created for the woman, but the woman for the man. It says that in the book of Corinthians, man. So you women are supposed to be a helpmeet to your husband, man. And the two become one and all that. So there's never been a thing where feminism is ever gonna, thrive or exist. That's a lie, man. That's a straight up lie. That's a fable. But anyway, the war's coming, man. We can't wait. We can't wait to see what's gonna happen in the next coming weeks, months. 2026, man, is right around the corner. Abu Ratazar, it kicks off with a bang, as most years do. New Year's Eve of destruction, something always happens. New Year's Eve of destruction. So Abu Ratazar 2026, January 1st, kicks off with a real bang. Something major happens in society, changes overnight like that, man. From bad to worse, from worse to unbearable. But either way, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is the light at the end of the tunnel for the elect, only the elect of the nation of Israel. So with that, we're going to close out. As I will see you brothers next week. Give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Shalom.